What? Nothing to see here? This is perfectly fine. Carry on. Can you beat Elden Ring normally? Rules? What rules? I'm just doing a completely normal playthrough of Elden Ring and wouldn't dream of doing anything weird, I promise. One quick aside before we begin though. Everything you see in this vid was done on the PS5 edition of Elden Ring on patch 1.10. But with the DLC looming, there will no doubt be further patches, if there haven't already been any between me recording this and you watching it. So, you can be sure to expect me to revisit this and play Elden Ring even more normally in the future. With all that done, take a big swig from your exploding physic, munch a raw meat dumpling, and enjoy. Long deathbed dresses and legendary weapons, Liurnia, Limgrave and Caelid or beckon, talismans, physics and the Elden Ring. These are a few of my favourite things. No, not you, you're just annoying. Meet Lettera, a perfectly normal human who enjoys normal human things like sleeping in coffins and avoiding mirrors. Don't mind the red eyes, she's just a bit tired. And Lettera loves nothing more than picking a normal starting class and doing a totally normal run through the lands between. It's okay, Lettera, I can take it from here. Let's do this.
I bequeath to you this ring.
Easy game. Now that I had my very own magic goat donkey, I could take care of a few basic tasks to get the run underway, including the usual suspects like gathering flask upgrades in the physic tier, picking up the Dectus pieces and the Saw Seal, and collecting the Academy key from Liurnia. Alexander gave me a present. No, not that one, this one. And I also got my hands on a couple of Ashes of War I would need. Ground Slam from a Scarab in East Limgrave, and Gravitas, which you can obtain from this lesser Alabaster Lord just chilling on a beach minding his own business. Unlucky lad. Now, of course, I've never played Elden Ring before, but I believe the goal is to get to the Erd Tree. Hello sir, are you the Erd Tree? Do you have a minute to talk about our Lord and Saviour, Stance Breaks? The fraudulent tree got the chop and dropped its goodies, and I headed elsewhere to continue my search. Well, this is definitely more promising. Sadly, the lever doesn't work yet. This game is enough to drive me to drink. Huh. Before moving on through the capital, I had to see an assassin about a... miss, are you okay? Hello? Okay, that's better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and poke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... You get the picture. What a knife lady. While I had Lanedell open to me, I took the opportunity to go raiding and unlock all the graces. But I was sadly still no closer to knowing where the Erd Tree was.
My utmost thanks for bringing me to the base of the Erd Tree.
Nope, I got nothing. I figured the path forward must be this way, but... yeah...
Hello, you've reached the Elden Ring helpline. This is Lemon speaking. How can I help you today?
Oh, yeah, hi. I'm trying to leave the capital, but I think my game's glitched and I can't get past the gold door.
Alright, sir, first things first. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
What? Yes, sure.
whatever.
Alrighty, so what I'm gonna need for you to do for me, if you could, is to perform the unequipped variant of a backstep move swap from the Gravitas Ash of War into the Black Knife by holding block and backstepping at the same time before initiating the Ash of War from your left hand weapon and instantly unequipping it to swap to the Black Knife in your right hand. Oh, and run forwards at the end of it.
Right, so what you're saying is I have to perform a frame-perfect sequence of 9 controller inputs in under a second, giving myself arthritis in the process?
Sir, I'm just reading off a script. I have literally no idea what any of those words I just said even meant.
Alright, thanks.
Alright, take care.
What a helpful guy. So long, suckers. I progressed through the Forbidden Lands and waited patiently for the lift, but it didn't arrive. So I decided to go back to the round table, and then changed my mind and decided to quit the game. And then changed my mind again and... Oh, we're here now. Just kidding, that was a wrong warp. I do actually know what I'm doing. You'd better believe that if FromSoft are going to fill a crappy area with even crappier enemies, I'm just going to run past them all because I did not pay 50 quid to actually play the game. And aside of stopping off to grab the bell bearing in Zamor Ruins, that's precisely what I did. It never hurts to stop and admire the view though. I wonder what's down here. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. After making sure to take the portal before getting assaulted by the red wolf I could feel breathing down my neck, I traversed the constipated snowfields and found my way to a very ordinary looking town. Now, I'm sure you're all expecting me to do some elaborate parkour skip to avoid the Everjail, but this is a normal run, so we don't do that here. Having said that, there are ways to make this section easier. Firstly, I headed back to Liurnia to meet Baby Got Back, Problems, who tasked me with recovering her stolen necklace.
The thug should be resting at an abandoned home down the way. 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 Down the way.
Right down the road.
Oh, wait, it actually is just down the way. How refreshing. After buying it from Boggart, a man who has no idea what a prawn actually is, I returned it to Raya for a fast ticket to the Volcano Manor, joined Tanith's after-school murder club, and dealt with Istvan to... I said I dealt with Istvan... I dealt with... Jeez, bro has zero chill. Completing this contract rewards you with Magma Shot, which was of no use to me at all. But more importantly, it unlocks the ability to buy Assassin's Gambit from Bernie, one of the most useful ashes of war in the game. In exchange for a tiny sliver of health, this unlocks Stealth Mode, and, in combination with a carefully placed sleep pot, can make the Everjail Rooftop run much simpler. Finally, I had made it to the first legacy dungeon of the game, the Haling Tree. This place seems nice. I figured it was about time to get some side quests underway. Firstly, I went to Ohio for a quick jog up a tree, and while I was there, a passerby mysteriously dropped dead and gave me his needle, which I promptly gave to a homeless girl so she could shoot up, which made her feel much better. All of which is to say, I was now able to purchase Night Maiden's Mist from Gowrie, which I'd need later on in the run. I also faced off against a sanguine noble invader in the snowfields, who tried his best to destroy me with his special move, running repeatedly into a rock. Nice try, scrub. This gave me access to Mwin Palace, which I made the most of by collecting a bunch of useful items, as well as meeting up with a friend who dropped by to give me a present. What a guy. After the bellhop in the Haling Tree Hotel kindly showed me the way down to the elevator, I was ready for an actual boss fight. And, as I was level 20 by now, this is the perfect level to fight Lettera. Don't worry, she is one of my favourite bosses in the game, so I'm not going to try and do anything cheesy here. A weapon would probably help though, and what better way to impress a woman than to show her my balls. These are some of the best weapons in the game, and come in two varieties, shaved and unshaven. But I was feeling lazy, so unshaven it is then. Luckily, with the areas I had open to me, I was able to collect enough smithing stones to max out the weapon. You can collect all the 7s and 8s you need from Yellow Annex Tunnel and the Subterranean Sucking Grounds, 5s and 6s from Celia Crystal Tunnel and the Sealed Tunnel, and there's an Ancient Dragon smithing stone on the way to Lettera. I also got the Crag Blade and Golden Vow Ashes of War for a bit of extra slap, and it was time for battle.
L2. This is
R2.
Lettera drops a cool 200k, which helped me to get up to level 44, and I progressed through the rest of the area, picking up another Ancient Dragon Stone en route. Assassin's Gambit makes this next section a breeze. I quick stepped through swamp number 372. You didn't see that. Did a smash and grab for the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, and arrived at the lobby to wait for my date for the night. The first remembrance boss of the run. Godric. Just kidding, it's Melania. It helps to be prepared, so I went to spruce myself up. Firstly, I took out this Black Knife Assassin for the Assassin's Cerulean Dagger Talisman, which restores FP on crits. Next, I beat this Knight Cavalry completely fairly to get the Giant Hunt Ash of War. I can't believe they named an Ash of War after Piers Morgan. This pairs nicely with Colossal Swords, like the Great Sword here, a blatant rip-off of the famous Gut Sword from Dark Souls 3. And luckily, I still had access to enough high-tier smithing stones to be able to max it out as well. After using up all the consumable runes I'd collected on my journey, I made sure to get to 31 strength, and it was time for my date. Welcome to the middle of the video-ish. I couldn't think of a song, so the song is called Welcome to the middle of the video. Kinda, yeah. I hope you're still having fun. Melania drops the measly sum of 480,000 runes. Pathetic. But luckily there are plenty of freebies in the game if you know where to look. Obviously, Grail goes without saying. I messed up the knight's cav cheese in Dragon Barrow, but he very kindly took the plunge anyway. Draconic Tree Sentinel decided he would rather face the void than another one of my godly parries. Darth Vader tried his Force bullshit on me, but I showed him who the father really is, and he decided to retire gracefully. And I herded up an elite squadron of octopuses before baiting them into killing Magma Worm Theodorix for me. I thought this area was meant to be hard. Of course, the best place to get runes fast is Mwin Palace. Don't worry, you're safe. I decided to get Varre's business handled first, defeated Magnus, dropped in on Vike, did some weird cosplay shit, and gave Varre the finger before sitting on his face. Aw, he bought me flowers to say thanks. He's a keeper. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, here.
Dearest Mikola.
I'm sorry, I don't think I'm meant to be here with, well, whatever this is. I'll go.
Hello, police. I'd like to report a predator.
What I meant was, it's here, down here, over here, down and over here, keep going, hop across, up and up, back on horsey, one more jump, and down into the forbidden hole before launching yourself into the abyss. Make sure you keep attacking the air, that way it will be too afraid of you to kill you. Well, that's convenient. Vigour is obviously the most important stat in Elden Ring. So, I dumped all my levels into Endurance just to trigger Reddit, and it was time to make friends and influence people. Irina turned into Hyetta, and I introduced her to a healthy fruit diet. Selen sent me out on a spell collecting exercise. Nefeli made me weak at the knees, and I met the great Kenneth Haight.
The great Kenneth Haight is known for his considerable largesse.
Lovely guy. He even promised me a knighthood.
Soccer!
I figured I should also kick off Rani's quest, so I headed into Carrier Manor. Oh, I'm ever so sorry, I didn't realise there was a boss here. My bad. Okay, that's better. With that out of the way, I visited Rani, who couldn't handle how hot I was. Just kidding, love. I caught up with the gang, and then I figured I should take a break from the story to indulge in some sweaty PvP action. Time to invade. No, wait, time to summon a helper. No, wait, maybe not. Or should I? Or shouldn't I? Or should I? Or shouldn't I? Or... oh, the invasion failed anyway. Oh well. Guess I'll do Stormveil instead. No, Gostock, I will not give you 50 pence for the bus home. Now go away. Stormveil was largely uneventful, aside of making sure to grab the Iron Wet Blade. And then I was ready to face another Remembrance boss.
I command thee,
Actually my name isn't Neil.
I'm Neil.
Go away, you're already dead. Godric is such an easy boss that even an unupgraded torch was powerful enough to wreck his shit with consummate ease. At this point, I feel like I'd need to cut my own limbs off to make this fight even vaguely challenging. But it is what it is. Handy Andy fell to my fiery toothpick, and I moved on to add more remembrances to my collection. Oh my god, a shield? For me? You shouldn't have. Time to get myself an edumacation, I suppose. Lesson 1. Pet the dog. Lesson 2. Dodgeball. My bad behaviour in class resulted in me getting sent to the headmistress's office. And if you're expecting to see a cool Renala fight, then think again. Because A, it's Renala, and B, I just wanted to get this out of the way fast so I could access respecking. I'm Renala, everyone look at me. I can show you one fun thing though. This is the Dragon Halberd, which drops from this Dragonkin soldier in Shifra. It comes with a very nice Frost Lightning buff, which is great, but it's a shame you can't get that buff on other weapons. Unless, of course, you use a consumable and activate the Halberd's weapon art with it in your left hand before unequipping it before the consumable animation ends to buff your right hand weapon with it. For some reason the Starfists don't actually show the visual effect of this, but you can clearly see the difference in attack power here. You can buff unbuffable weapons like this too, and it works with any weapon that adds a buff. Bye bye Renala! Oh, you're still here. Albus gave me a medallion, which I used to bait Ensha into giving me the Royal Remains armour set. I dispatched the Grafted Scion so I could give Nefeli a cremated bird as a pet to stop her doing the big sad, and decided to progress Rani's quest some more by entering Renas Rise. There was some weird blue doorway stopping me entering. I think it might be just another glitch, but that's fine because I could just hop onto this wall, use my telescope to line up like this, double jump onto this tree, telescope again to line up, double jump again, and immediately do a second double jump to get on the roof. From there, it was a straight shot through Noxtella all the way down to the land of forbidden soup. Lake of Rot? More like Lake of Pots? Am I right, Astel? Eh? Chucking grenades at an angry cosmic dildo might not be one for the bucket list, but this was pretty easy because Astel isn't very challenging aside from the one fuck you move, and the combo of Rot to start with, followed by Volcano Pots to his big ugly face, was potent enough to dispatch him in 2 tries, allowing me to add another remembrance to my ever-increasing collection. Okay, fine, I give in, have some vigour. Just a little, as a treat. Let's talk about one of the worst incantations in the game. Fire's Deadly Sin, available as a reward for the Lanedale painting puzzle. Also known as the "this is gonna hurt you slightly more than it hurts me" incantation. Yeah, it's bad, but it's not quite as bad as you might think. Using this poor Godric grunt as tinder, a normal cast does 5 damage per tick. Charging the incantation locks you into a much longer animation, but does 9 damage per tick. Throw in the Fire Scorpion charm, Fire Physic, and Godfrey icon, and a charged cast now does 16 damage per tick. And here's the fun part. Using Last Rites adds an element of holy damage for a while, boosting it up to 21 damage per tick, which can even get up to 22 damage per tick with the holy tier as well. Which is still not a lot, but it's a hell of a lot better than 5. I remember enough maths from school to know that much. Let's go and test this on something a little sturdier. Come down, Radahn, and fight me like a real demigod. Look guys, I turned myself into a bonfire! With Limgrave's gaping hole exposed, I could head underground into Nokron. The Mimic tier fight is always a good test of how solid your build actually is, so... God damn, I'm squishy. I dutifully recovered Rani's lost nail file for her, visited the inverted tower for some roasted carrion with a side of intelligence talisman, consoled myself by talking to a doll, took a hard-earned victory against the baleful shadow,
Beautifully fought.
and made Rani my wife so we could usher in a new age of stars together. Just kidding. May chaos take the world! Fake Moog and me tried to bust at the same time, but I bust harder and he couldn't take it and had to go lie down. Which was nice because I wanted to access Deeproot depths, but... Sadly, this meant I would have to tackle one of the worst abominations of a boss fight that FromSoft have ever put together instead. The Valiant Gargoyles. Here's a quick guide to the fight. Now, I would advise bringing a Spirit Ash. It doesn't really matter which one or whether they can even do much damage. Their only purpose is to keep the boss busy at the start of the fight. Over here, face sit this rock, jump up and then across to the left, twice, up here, up again, jump over here, up the wall, turn the camera and butt slam again, a couple of jumps around this corner and it's basically job done. Look at me, I'm the gargoyle now. Pew pew, dickhead. With the Egg Lady now available, I could have some fun with different builds. And to quote Limp Bizkit quoting George Michael, you gotta have faith. So I hopped into the coffin for an express transfer to the Erdtree's sweaty gooch to get me some more powerful incantations to play with. This one must be good, it's all golden. Aside of your sacred seal, there are plenty of ways to boost your incantations, such as Physic Tears, Scorpion Charms, the Faithful's Canvas Talisman from Celia Crystal Tunnel, and Flock's Canvas Talisman, which I obtained by removing Gowry from this mortal coil after ensuring Millicent had an unfortunate cheek-related accident in the mountaintops. Hello Morgoth, I'm the Elden Beast! Wait, why is this actually not garbage? Not sure if Elden Star's too OP or Morgoth made of twigs. I could finally hop down the true final boss to reach the Frenzied Flame prescription, where I got a warming massage, broke up with my girlfriend, and met Hyetta again, whose bonfire impression wasn't as good as mine. I also got these sweet contact lenses. How are yours, Hyetta?
My eyes. They're melting.
From mountains tall to the serpent's halls and cities in the storm. From wall to wall, I walk them all to become the Elden Lord.
Nobody likes Godskins, which is why it's perfectly acceptable to repeatedly put them to sleep and then ruin their whole month. And once that was done, here's an extra little treat for all you Vigour enjoyers. Bam! 50 Vigour. How'd you like them apples? Enjoy them, because they won't last long. I also headed into the delights of the giant conquering hero grave to take down the ancient hero of Zamor for his weapon, the Zamor Curved Sword. The Ash of War on this weapon basically gives you access to the Ice Storm spell without having to invest in intelligence, which is perfect for me as I'm stupid. And as I'm sure you know, fire damage instantly resets frost on enemies. If only I had a way of applying fire damage constantly. Oh, yeah. Rykard would make a loyal test subject for my experiment, so I headed in. No idea what this is, I'm sure it's useless though. And it went a bit like this. I beg to differ. Emboldened by my flame of ambition, I decided to fight fire with fire. Yep, it's another torch. More specifically, the Ghost Flame torch, which can be found on a rooftop in Nokron. Nobody needs 50 vigour for the fire giant, so I dropped back down to 30, upped my int to 40, and rode up the hill to wind him up like a particularly slippery mosquito. Okay, why does this thing actually fuck? Why is everything that I thought was bad in this game actually good? Or maybe I've done too many challenges and this is a form of trauma bonding, where I convince myself that anything which makes the boss health bar visibly shorter is good. Let's talk about the fire giant while we're here. Now, he's not as bad as some people make out, on paper at least, because 90% of his annoyingness comes from the dogshit arena, where he gets stuck on everything and the slope messes up hitboxes, meaning you have to do awkward things like this. And the other 10% comes from this specific attack, because excuse me, but exactly what, if you'll pardon my French, the fuck was that? Aside of that, his attacks are slow, telegraphed, and easy to dodge. He doesn't chain combos or animation cancel, so you have plenty of safe punish windows, and his HP looks bigger than it actually is due to him automatically losing a chunk at the phase change. And yeah, I know you can just hack at his legs in phase 2, but it's far more fun watching him face on as he tries to suplex you from the top rope like Garfield pouncing on a lasagna. I'm not saying this went quickly, and in fact it took over 12 minutes, but other than a couple of greedy moments, I never felt threatened at all. And if you think this section is boring, then that's perfect, because so is this fight, and... oh, he's dead. Anyway. After committing fire's deadliest sin so far, I awoke in the Windy City and made my way through Farum all the way to the Godskin's Grace. God damn it, who put that there? As the endgame was in sight, I decided to finish up a couple of NPC quests. Firstly, I dealt with the Misbegotten and Crucible duo in Redmane Castle, and then completed Selen's quest by helping her to defeat Jeren. Correction, I defeated Jeren while she shot spells at... I don't really know what. It was kind of like when you hand your little brother an unplugged controller and let him think he's actually playing the game. This made her so happy that she celebrated by eating too much dinner. Whoops. I also finished off Nefeli's quest so I could get another Ancient Dragonstone, because why not? And it definitely wasn't just an excuse to see her again. Step on me, please! I mean, what? Farum is the perfect place to explore the secrets of the arcane arts. So, after another quick trip to Renala, it was Godskin's time. Oh, you thought I was going to skip them or something? No. It's far more satisfying to utterly obliterate them legitimately. And one of the most efficient tools for doing this is Mohg's Salad Fork. Specifically, its Ash of War Red Light District. Come and get it, boys! This could have actually gone faster if Fatso hadn't hopped backwards at the start and had the nerve to actually try and attack me instead of just bleeding out like a stuck pig. But once he decided to roly-poly, it was game over, and all I had to really do was press L2 a few more times to finish things off. Easiest Godskins fight without sleep pots that I've ever done. With the disgustingly devilish duo dutifully de-alived, I caught up with Bernie and sent him to the basement to fetch the blasphemous claw for me, and then decided to test my arcane build further on Malekith. I hope he likes flowers. Now, I'm sure at this point you're all expecting me to tell you that this weapon is actually not as bad as I thought, but no, it really is trash. But at least it does bleed.
of death is unbound.
Oh, my head. I should not have stayed up doing Destined Death all night. We've got a long way into this video without really mentioning Spirit Ashes much. Now, these cause a lot of debate in the community as to whether they make the game too easy. And while I have no horse in this particular race, or even a magic goat donkey, did you know that Lettera is so powerful that she can solo Placidus Axe without getting hit? It's true. Just pop her over here at a 90-degree angle to the boss before the fight starts, on the second closest row of graves to the centre circle. Then, all you need to do is head back to where you started, step forward to begin the fight, move back to the first row of graves, and just run from side to side. Yep, that's it. Just keep running from side to side. This is very complex tech, guys, and you will need to focus really hard on your almost impossible task of running from side to side. Who would win? One former Elden Lord with the power to call down lightning from the heavens, or one small person running from... Look, you get the idea. Gideon sucks, so the only way to defeat him is to suck even harder. Here's a strat that should theoretically work at any level. Put Lifesteal Fist onto a weapon, which you can find in Caelid, walk up to him during his opening speech, and start giving him the suck. Here's the important bit. As soon as the animation finishes, walk around him. Doing this makes him dodge around you rather than away from you, leaving him in range for you to roll catch him with more sucking. If you stay in front as he's getting up, he will either hammer bash you or dodge out of reach. But if you keep circling around, you can stun lock him for the entire fight. Alright, I'm done with all the wacky stuff. Let's have an actually normal fight against the best and final boss of the game, Godfrey. Yep, definitely the final boss. Of course, a crown is warranted with strength, so I respec to give myself 99 strengths, which is a lot of strengths, and stepped into the arena to prove myself. Okay, I have to tell you about something slightly weird that happened here. On my first successful attempt, I managed to stagger Godfrey near the end of Phase 1, riposte him into the cutscene, and then, with my first attack of Phase 2, I staggered him again? I have no idea how or why that happened, as the first stagger should have reset his posture. But yeah, even when I wasn't trying to break the game, I somehow did anyway. Luckily, I'd made a backup save here, so was able to repeat the fight to give you the glitchless victory you just watched. Now that Godfrey was bested, all that was left for me to do was find my way to the Erd Tree, since he is, of course, the final boss. I think it's this way.
My eyes, they're melting.
No, my bad, carry on. What I meant to say, of course, is that it's this way.
You cannot let a fear of failure or a fear of comparison, or a fear of judgment stop you from doing what's going to make you great. You cannot succeed without this risk of failure. You cannot have a voice without the risk of criticism. And you cannot love without the risk of loss. You must go out and you must take these risks. None of it comes easy. And people will tell you to do what makes you happy. But a lot of this has been hard work. And I'm not always happy. And I don't think you should do just what makes you happy. I think you should do what makes you great. Do what's uncomfortable and scary and hard but pays off in the long run. Be willing to fail. Let yourself fail. Fail in the way and the place where you would want to fail. Fail, pick yourself up, and fail again. Because without this struggle, what is your success anyway?
Excuse me, I already had this room booked. Don't know who that was. Probably the janitor. But he was gone now anyway, so I could step up to the fractured Marika, claw my own face off, and let chaos take the world!
I will seek you as far as you may travel.
Meh, she'll get over it. Well, that's it. The credits rolled, and I had beaten the tutorial of Elden Ring completely normally. Time to take on the first real boss of the game.
This is the end of the video.
Shoot!